Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Device Diaries. Today is episode 34, you guys. My name is Gaida Loveres, and I am the founder and the creator of the Device Diaries, where we navigate, if I can say it, navigate a day in the life of a med device rep. So today um, is a really special episode for me because today I get to talk about probably one of the subjects that everybody talks about all the time. And this is actually a special request from one of my listeners to talk about work-life balance, you guys. Is there such a thing as work-life balance? I really hope so. I really do hope so, because it's what keeps us sane, right? As a salesperson, it could be a lot. It could be a lot, mentally, physically. A lot of stress, a lot of emails, quota, you name it, never ending stuff, right? Issues, right? So it's really important that you guys are taking the time to, I call it recharge, to reset. Reset is really important when it comes to any type of job. It doesn't have to be med device specifically. It doesn't have to be sales specifically, but you need that. You need that restart, okay? And a lot of times, it's putting your phone away does help. Not being on social media does help. Really, basically, just living the moment, And this subject is really important to me because it's something that I like to talk about. If you guys don't know my background, I actually, use social media influencer, if you want to call it that. I did a lot of personal development work, okay, because it was really important to me, especially with everything that's going on, not just in the world, but also, in your workplace. All right. You're dealing with a lot of different personalities, you guys. And I know you understand when I say that. And a lot of times, for me, as an empath, it's easy for me to really absorb all those emotions. So I have to have ways of self-soothing, ways of taking care of myself, right? Talk about what work-life balance really means to me, right? It is an important integral part of being a sane person, of surviving in this crazy world of of sales, right? And personalities, people, emotions, you name it. So today's episode 34 of the Device Diaries. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all the love that I've been getting. I know last time we talked about Persuasion 101. I really hope that you guys took notes because those are like the foundation of sales. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about persuasion in future episodes. I am having a bunch of guests back on my podcast. My co-host is still out sick. So Lori, I miss you. Hope you feel better. She'll be back really soon. She is sending you guys lots of loves. She's thinking about you and she can't wait to get back as my co-host for the Device Diaries. But today, you guys get to have me, myself, and I. And today I want to talk about, is there such a thing as work-life balance? Is there such a thing as work-life balance, you guys? Ugh. Right? Let's talk about that for a second. Oh my gosh. It's funny because when I hear the word work-life balance, I'm like, really? I work every day. I work at night, more, you name it, but you do need to have somewhat of a hobby, somewhat of a life outside work, right? I mean, I'm just saying, don't make your whole entire life all about your work. Yes, it is important. Yes, it is good to be very motivated. It is good to stay motivated as long as, of course, we do have some goals, some quotas that we got to hit. So make sure you guys are really lining up your schedule to hit those numbers. It's really important. It's part of not stressing out, before your Q4 ends. I think a lot of times people start panicking in Q3 because they're like, oh shoot, how am I going to hit my quota? Because I already have 3 months left before, Q4 is over. And then what? And then next year begins again. So another quota, So it's one of those things, you guys, if you can, I always tell, other sales reps that if you can like position yourself by Q3 to where you kind of already hit your quota, I think that is the best place to be, because it buys you time, right? It gives you at least 3 months to prepare for next year. Okay. And that's exactly how I like to run my business. That allows me to have what we call work-life balance, is really having that plan, on how, you're going to make your life a lot easier for you, for yourself. There's no reason to add extra stress in your life. Come on, you guys, especially for those of you guys who are parents. I don't have kids yet, so I can only imagine having kids that are getting sick left and right, or maybe kids that, like school, maybe they're not in school at the moment. Who knows? There's a lot of things that can happen. Or maybe like a family member that's going through some medical condition, or has a medical condition, a medical issue that, or maybe you have some medical condition that you have to address, emergencies, all those things, you guys, all those things add up. So for me, the more I can make my life easier, whatever that looks like, the better it is for me, because I'm taking away stress that is really unnecessary. And a lot of times, you guys, having like that control over your life is so huge. And giving yourself that time and the space to just take care of you first is so huge in anything that you do in life. All right. And I'm glad that we're talking about this subject, because I feel like this past few episodes, we talk a lot about like, persuasion, grinding, networking, women in sales, you name it, collaboration, strategies, right? So today I kind of want to keep it light, and I want it to be like, how do I take care of myself as a busy sales rep that runs around all the time? Well, one thing I do that I implement on my own, and you guys can take it for what it's worth. If you want to start doing it, great. If not, great. But I highly recommend that you guys practice waking up early. Been a huge part of my life. I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. Doesn't matter if it's during the week or the weekend. First thing I do is I read the Bible. Second thing I do is I practice gratitude. Third thing I do is I read 10 pages of whatever book that I'm reading. It could be sales book, it could be personal development book, whatever it is. Okay. And then what? And then, I look at the time. By that time, it's probably only 5:30 in the morning, right? I would walk my dog. So I walk my dog. That is his work-life balance. I walk him for I would say 30 minutes, a good 30 minutes, and then I started prepping for my day. Okay, so I would meditate. I then will check on my social media stuff, and then I would get ready for my day, meaning start my day at 8, right? Look at my emails at first, and then see where I can go that day. So I typically try to hit 2 to 3 accounts a day. Anything more than that could be overwhelming, especially if you're hitting like a hospital, you're doing all these different areas of care. And I don't know about you guys, my memory is not that great. I'm 40 plus, and I have premenopausal issues. So I forget things. So I kind of have to make sure that I take really, really good notes, as well as I don't hit too many accounts to where I'm like, oh no, I totally forgot what the conversation was. So every time I hit an account, I would sit down for like 30 minutes in my car and like write very, very specific notes. And I don't know about you guys, I have a pretty big territory, and there's a lot of names that I have to remember, and as well as backgrounds, conversations, so people, right? I need to talk to people every single time. There's a lot of staffing changes happening. So you guys have to be able to really keep track of all those conversations that you guys are having. It doesn't have to be, if you want to be a nerd, you can, like, I used to do Excel spreadsheets because my handwriting sucks, but you can just I have a little notebook that I keep in my bag at all times. And I always, please carry a pen, you guys. Salespeople, carry a freaking pen. It hurts my heart when I see a salesperson without a pen. I'm like, how did you live this long? I guess you can do it in your notes on your phone too, but carry a pen. I'm old school. I like to write things down, and I would be very specific with who this person is, what the conversation was, and what my follow up is. Okay, that relieves a lot of stress in my life. Thoughts on paper is huge, you guys. So you're not thinking about it. I mean, how many times have you sat down after your long days of work, of like going to different accounts, and be like, I don't remember what that person's name is. I don't remember the conversation. Did he say or she say she wanted 5 or 6 monitors? I don't remember. So it's really, really important that you guys have the ability, have ways of writing down whatever is in your head, your thoughts, right? And that way, when you go to a different account, whether it's the same day or the following day, you're kind of like starting fresh. Okay, so you're not like all over the place. I mean, there's nothing more unattractive than a salesperson that's all over the freaking place. I mean, I'm like, dude, calm down. Okay, you gotta have ways to self-soothe. You gotta have ways to understand work-life balance, so you come in as the best version of yourself when you're selling to a customer, or when you're trying to get a customer to buy more of your stuff, right? You gotta have your best foot forward. And yes, not all of us are gonna have good days every day. I wish that was the case, you guys. It's not. I'm a female. I'm an emotional creature. I have mood swings, but I do understand the value of showing up to my customer the best version of myself, the best I can be that day. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's the best I can be for you that day. All right. So and it takes a lot of practice to learn that skill. Like, it takes a lot of practice to really get there, because a lot of times we live in a world with limiting beliefs, that limiting mindset of like, you're not good enough. Oh, you suck. Oh, you got yelled at. Oh, this person didn't like you. Oh, this person made fun of you, or this person said something mean to you, or maybe this person give you a side look that you thought it was meant something else, or whatever. They're angry at you. Those things, you guys, you gotta learn how to let those go, because I tell this to people all the time. It's like, if you guys have haters, that means you made it in life. I'm gonna repeat that, sales reps, peeps. If you guys have haters, that means that you've actually made it in life, because people are actually paying attention to what you have to say. Now, not everybody has to agree with what you have to say and the way you want to do things, but the fact that they're listening and that tells you you're good at what you do. And for those of you guys who are so fearful of hurting other people's feelings, or like saying how you feel, or maybe fearful of getting anybody upset, yes, please try your best to not get your customers upset. But there are times to where they will be upset. It's how you navigate around it. It's our job as sales reps, we're problem solvers. So I don't like to call myself as a salesperson, right? I call myself as a solution provider, problem solver. It's our job to put them at ease. All right. I'm sorry. It's like therapy, right? It's our job, because a lot of times they'll be panicky. Like, I mean, perfect example, you guys. I had a customer who was basically, just to give you guys like a summary of what happened. It's just, there was back orders going on. Customer was unhappy because customer hasn't received the order yet. It's been a minute, right? So we're people are complaining to the buyer, be like, where is it? When is it coming? We've ordered this months ago. Why do I not have it yet? Customer called me panicking, pissed, of course, right? Of course, like, totally understandable, validated. And I what did I do? So instead of like panicking back, I took a deep breath. This is really important, you guys. Please practice this. And told them, first of all, you got to validate how they feel, right? It's their feelings. It's validated. It doesn't matter if you don't feel that way. It's their feelings. It's important. It's validated. So I said, I understand. I know you're frustrated, but here's what I'm going to do for you. So make sure, you guys, when you have a customer that's panicking or pissed, make sure to let them explain to you why they're mad, and make sure you're coming up You're coming up with solutions as they're telling you exactly what the problem is. It doesn't have to be the perfect solution at like that's going to fix it right away, but it's a solution that's going to make them sit back and chill out and like, okay, all right, that's you're working with me, I'll meet you in the middle type of situation. And I think having that mindset, having that calmness, it goes back to what you do outside of work, like whether it's meditation, whether it's practicing gratitude, whether it's journaling, whether it's working out. I mean, I typically end my day after I'm done with work. I go to the gym because the gym for me is a way of like releasing stress, right? It's a stress relief. And I know a lot of you guys have kids, so maybe the gym at night is a no-go. Maybe for you guys, it's the morning time before you even start work is the best place to go to the gym, or maybe have involved your whole family in a workout in your living room. I don't know how old your kids are. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. What the great thing now, guys, about the internet, about social media, right? There's so many free content out there on YouTube that you can extract, that you can actually watch. I mean, I've learned how to podcast because at night after work, I would sit down for 2 hours and just watch YouTube videos on how to start a podcast, YouTube videos and how to release a podcast. So for me, life has always been about learning. I stopped watching the news, you guys. I stopped watching movies, scary movies, stressful movies. I don't watch any TV. My nights are devoted to either podcasting or maybe thinking about content, maybe reading a book, or maybe watching volleyball stuff. I mean, learning a new language, learning to play a music instrument. Maybe you want to learn how to sing, whatever that looks like for you guys. But I think it's really important to give those, I call it gifts. The gift keeps on giving, because going back to our subject today, is there such a thing as work-life balance? I really, really hope so, you guys, because there's nothing more exciting than having to do what you love. I'm going to repeat that. There's nothing more exciting than getting to do what you truly love. All right. And yes, we all love our jobs. I love what I do. I love helping people. It suits me. This job is the perfect job for me. I mean, I couldn't think of any better position to be in. I get to work with smartest people on earth. I get to be surrounded with the best sales people in the world. I mean, I'm very lucky, and that's part of my gratitude every morning. I'm my gratitude practice. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful for my boss. I'm grateful for all these resources that we have, the company that I work for. I'm grateful for my customers. I'm grateful for what I get to do every day. And if you guys hate what you do, find something else to do, because it's not a life that's worth living, right? Going back to work-life balance, okay? Life is so short, you guys, and I wish it wasn't. It's crazy because I watch a lot of podcasts about like really learning how to live your life, really enjoying your life. Weekends for you guys. I don't know what your weekend's like. Mine is recording more podcasts because I get to interview a bunch of smart people, and I get to practice speaking in public. Public speaking has been such a huge part of my life. Just to give you guys a little background, I was actually so scared of public speaking. I know, right? As a salesperson, you're like, no way. I was so scared, you guys, of public speaking to where I would shake, literally shake like a leaf. And my accent will get thicker to where I start mumbling. People are like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're so nervous. I can't understand you. And that's the worst feeling ever, right? To where you're trying to sell them a solution, but you can't even convey it, and it's the worst thing ever. And then I call it like the show up and throw up. I used to do this show up and throw up, to where I'm like so nervous, like trying to freaking throw features and benefits at them, or like trying to do a pre-rehearsed pitch, which doesn't work. Your pitch shouldn't be overly rehearsed. It should be unique to the type of customer that you guys have. That's why when people ask me to pitch them, I just like sit back and look at them. because pitching is about asking questions. So a big part about sales is discovery, right? So discovery is huge, takes a while. So you have to really learn your customer, their personality, their love languages. We can like have this a specific subject on its own. I talk about understanding your customer's needs and love languages. How do they like to be approached? Being tenacious but not being aggressive. Okay, there is a huge difference. I think there is this thing that I don't know if it's expected, or maybe this unspoken I guess we'll call it expectation, that a salesperson has to be hyper energetic, like rah rah rah. I call BS on that. I think the calmer you are as a salesperson, the better you are in sales. Okay, because calmer you are, the more you get the chance to listen to your customers' needs, sit back and listen, and then that way you can provide them, instead of throwing random solutions that they don't really care for, provide them with a specific solution to their issue. I'm going to repeat that. Provide them with a specific solution to their issue. But it starts with, you got to be calm. Part of being calm, you got to take care of yourself. Okay? Practice self-love. That's a huge part of being able to have what we call work-life balance. Okay? You got to take care of your life. You only have one life to live, you guys. And I say this with love, because I feel like I see people just kind of work themselves to death and not really stepping back and looking at the things they've already created. I'm going to repeat that. I see people work themselves to death and not stepping back and looking at the things they've already created. That is a huge part of life and gratitude, you guys. And if you guys are not practicing gratitude, you're missing out with the wonderful things that life has to offer. That has to offer. I mean, we live in a very, very special world, right? And there's so many things that you can be grateful for, whether it's your family, food. I mean, here's me every time I eat food. Thank you, God, for this food. Thank you, God, for this warm soup that I get to eat today. Thank you, God, for this blanket. Thank you, God, for whatever, So having those moments of gratitude is so huge when it comes to really learning how to appreciate your life more and practicing the work-life balance, like what we're talking about. Being present, you guys. If you guys are not being present and you're always on your phone while you're having a conversation with someone and not giving that person the time of the day to actually get to know you, whatever, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on a lot of cues. So for those sales reps that are like multitaskers, I recommend do one thing at a time. If you're in an account, don't look at your phone, just focus on your customer. It's based, I mean, if you really have to, just say, excuse yourself. Hey, excuse me, I got to take this call. Or a lot of times, you guys, I just leave my phone in my car. And the reason why I do that is because there's no temptation of looking at my phone, because I want to make sure that my focus is 100% towards my customer. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. I wanted to make sure my focus is 100% towards my customer. Okay, so I can actually understand what they need, so I can provide them with as much value as I can give them. Okay, you got to be a giver in sales, you guys. It's crazy, because a lot of times people will ask me, like, how did you land this deal? How did you hit your quota? How did you exceeded your quota? I said, because I always put my customers first. I always put that's a Filipino in me. Okay, I always put my customer first, always and forever. They always come first. I say this a lot, that I'll fight for my customers. I'll fight for them, because that's what I truly believe, right? And if you guys are in this business just for the money and not for helping people, I can guarantee you're not going to last. Or maybe if you do, people are going to see through it and nobody's going to like to work with you. So why be that person? Why be that person? Today is episode 34 of the Device Diaries, which I titled, Is There Such a Thing as Work-Life Balance? I really, really hope so. I hope that the tips that I gave you guys, I hope that you wrote it down. I know a lot of you are probably already practicing this, or doing it? If so, good for you. Good on you. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Okay. Practice makes perfect. I feel like people sometimes say, I already worked myself. I'm good. Well, guess what? It never ends, you guys. Life is not linear, unfortunately. Things do change. Season changes. So you have to be able to adapt to those seasons. You have to be able to practice adaptability, tenacity, right? Those are really, really important traits, skills in sales. You have to be good at public speaking, you guys. If you guys are not practicing speaking in front of a camera or speaking in front of people, you shouldn't be in sales. Period. I'm going to repeat that. If you guys are not practicing speaking in front of a camera or speaking in front of people, you should not be in sales. Okay. But the good news is this: public speaking is a skill, meaning you can learn it. So if that's something that you're lacking at the moment, start learning it, practice. I mean, I can tell you, I actually remember the first time I actually created content for social media for my med device platform. I was scared as hell. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was bad. I think it took me an hour to record like a 30-second video, but I kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And now we're here. I created a platform for you guys. See you, for those of you who are a seasoned sales rep, maybe you're new, maybe you're trying to break into the industry. These are the things, the skills they kind of have to be good at what you do. All right. And when you're good at what you do, you get to enjoy your life and your family more. Today's episode 34. I'd like to keep this episode short and sweet. Off the Device Diaries. My name is Gaida Loveres. I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting from you guys. If you guys want me to talk about a specific subject, please send me a message on LinkedIn under Gaida Loveres Medical, and I'm happy to talk about it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Happy selling. Good luck to all of you who are trying to hit their quota on Q4. You got this. Don't give up. Focus on the things that you can control. Focus on yourself. Self-love is huge. Really practice gratitude. Start enjoying life a little bit more, because life is short, you guys, and we only have one. So live it. Thank you for listening. My name is Gaida Loveres. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy weekend. And we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.